So thank you very much, sir. And I wish to recognize and I'm grateful to you that for the first time with you in the chair, I'm being called to respond to a bill. So for that, I extend my gratefulness to you. Sir, today we are discussing on the Manipur Goods and Services Tax Second Amendment Bill, sir. Every time the central government amends the Central Goods and Services Act of 2017, we also need the states to amend their state GST related law. Through the Finance Act 2025, Sections 121 to 134 of the Central Goods and Services Act was amended. And it got enacted in August 2025. The changes have come into effect from October 2025. And that could happen after more than half of the states updated their GST laws. So every time something happens in the center, the states also will have to pass, and once half of them have passed, it comes into effect, and that's how it came, this set of changes to the sections 121 to 134, which was made through the Finance Act of 2025, have come into effect in October because states have all. But unfortunately, because Manipur was under the President's rule, the corresponding effect-giving measures could not be taken up in the state GST laws. The Assembly was in a suspended mode, and Manipur Goods and Services Act of 2017 was not amended, but it was amended through an ordinance that was promulgated by the central government, and that was done on 7th October, sir. So now this bill is coming to replace that ordinance. And so the changes which have been brought will be made permanent for Manipur's sake. Sir, before I go into the few details which I want to table here, I want to say a word about the opposition leaders, opposition parties. Sir, throughout 24, we saw them shedding crocodile tears about Manipur for everything. Did the Prime Minister visit? Did the Home Minister visit? Did the law and order come to normalcy? Every time about Manipur, they will raise issues, they will voice their grievance, total crocodile tears. I've seen it even earlier once when we brought in a bill for Manipur's budget, because again it was under the President's rule and the governor was doing it, we had to present a budget for Manipur. Even at that time, they did not participate in the debate. Even at that time, they did not think of Manipur people's welfare, that money should go to them through the budget being passed. They didn't think about it. Even today, when the GST benefits have to go to the state government because they will otherwise not earn the revenue out of it, when we are trying to have an ordinance be converted to be a regular bill and get passed here to become an act, they are not here to participate. So all the grievance that they voiced about Manipur, accusing the Prime Minister, accusing the Home Minister, were all just drama. I'm ashamed to say this. I'm sorry to say this. विपक्ष के रोल ये होता है कि आप जिम्मेदाराना रवैया अपनाना चाहिए और जिम्मेदारी के साथ एक जो स्टेट जिसके ऊपर आप इतना बात कर रही हो, उसका बेहतरी के लिए कानून जब पारित होता है, बजट जब पारित होता है, उसमें शामिल होना है, भाग लेना है. मगर ये विपक्ष तो मगरमच्छी का आंसू बह रही है और जब क्रिटिकल बिल्स आते हैं मणिपुर का भाग जाते हैं. शर्मनाक बात है सर. आई एम सॉरी. मैं आपके सामने ये कहना चाहती हूं कि आज भी वो मणिपुर के चर्चा में भाग नहीं लिया. दुख के मैं कहना चाह रही हूं. सर, दिस पर्टिकुलर अमेंडमेंट is very important, sir, because it does two things. The very important reform-based steps that we have taken in GST, like track and trace system. Once you do the track and trace system, which is a very big step in administering the GST, you are able to prevent leakages. And therefore, that was one of the things which was passed in the Finance Act of 25. Now we are making it into a bill for Manipur. Similarly, at the time of supply, sir, particularly for vouchers, the rules which were dealing with it are being removed so that it becomes simple, and because issuing a voucher is not actually the supply of goods or service. So this change will bring in ease of doing business, avoid unnecessary disputes on when the tax becomes payable. So that becomes a disputable point. Now that will be removed. There was from the beginning a little ambiguity when we described plant and machinery. We said plant or machinery. The word or led to a lot of confusion. So this time, through the February Finance Act, we have removed the word or and put the word and. Plant and machinery, and as a result, the ambiguity will be removed. But again, I'd like to confirm here, which is for the good of the people of Manipur, we made plant and machinery, removing plant or machinery, removing or. It's not going to be affected only from today. It will be affected from 1st July 2017, when the GST was originally for the first time brought to play. So as a result, people in Manipur, businesses in Manipur, enterprises in Manipur also will benefit from this removal of ambiguity, which the entire nation has benefited from, but Manipur has been denied because there was no government. Now we are giving that benefit to them. Also, sir, when there is a dispute, people are expected to pay 10% pre-deposit. We are only asking for 10% pre-deposit for appeals before the appellate authority or the appellate tribunal, even in cases where only the penalty is being challenged. So, this keeps the appeal process consistent so that it doesn't look as if we are taking the 10% for appellate authority and not for the tribunal. Those confusions will not prevail. We are bringing consistency in the process and discourage frivolous litigation, because people will just go rush in for some kind of a time buying or whatever. That frivolous litigations will be now discouraged. And lastly, sir, when goods are kept in a special economic zone or a free trade warehousing zone and are sold before being taken out of the zone itself, such transactions will now be treated as neither a supply of good or a supply of services, providing, again, the much needed clarity and avoiding unintended consequences. So even before, if it is removed from the SEZ or the special economic warehousing zone, if the sale happens, we'll treat it as non-sale, in the sense we'll treat it as neither a supply of goods or a supply of services, so there won't be any confusion. So these above amendments have been carried out in the Central GST Act, but again, as I said earlier, sir, it hadn't happened during the Manipur state GST because of ordinance which had to be brought in. Now we're converting that ordinance into a law. So there are one or two points of clarification which some members spoke about, which I'll very quickly finish. In fact, there were 13 of them who spoke, and some of them did raise some issues. So, Madam Sulata Dev mentioned that in the recent maximum GST rate is 28%. 28% actually has been abolished, sir. We don't have 28% anymore. So it has not been, it's not there anymore, it has been abolished. And items which were in 28% either moved to 18, or if they were sin goods, they moved to 40. So there is no more 28%. And when we say sin goods, we say demerit goods. such as tobacco products, have all gone to 40. So that is one thing, sir. Essentials, Madam Sulata, they've mentioned essentials like milk, food, toothpaste, handicrafts are subject to GST. The rates of essentials have been reduced from 12 to 5%, sir. In fact, handicrafts have come to 5%. In fact, milk has no GST at all. It's never had. And even now, except for that UHT, which has a specialized package, high temperature heating, and then it can be preserved without refrigeration, it used to come in a specialized pack that till you open it, it can remain without refrigeration. After that, if you open it, you'll have to keep it in the fridge. That used to have a rate of tax. Other than that, milk never had a tax. Even this has now come to zero. The UHT is also come down to zero. So I just want that clarification given. As always, members from Orissa, I can't see Sasmit Patra here, always refer to Kendu leaves or the Tendu leaves, in which BD or tobacco is put in and it is rolled. That leaf is called Tendu leaves. It's collected as a minor forest produce. Sir, I want to reassure the member. It's now come down to 5 and she's recognized that in her speech. But on Kendu leaves, sir, at least 4 GST councils have met and spoken on it. Elaborate discussions have happened. And if one state, Orissa, wants it, Telangana wouldn't want it. We've crossed all those stages and now we've brought it down to 5. Bring it down to 0. That's been, I'm sorry to say, sir, many requests come like that. By keeping an item in 0, where even some input credit can be accruing to you, will not accrue to you if you keep it at 0. So there is a benefit in keeping it at the lowest possible rate, which is 5%. If I move to 0, even the little refund that you get, you will not get. So there is a reason, madam, that we've kept it at 5. I want to inform the honorable member through you, sir. Then Sri Ayodhya Rami Reddy ji spoke about inverted duty structure, sir. I'm happy to say as much work happened on rate rationalization, bringing rates down, making 4 rates into 2 only, not having 4. Equal amount of work went into correcting inverted duty structure. And I'm happy to say most of the items where inversion happened because the final product was sold at, let us say, 5%. The inputs were being bought at 12%, which is no more there, but 12%. The difference could not be retrieved, and as a result, there was an inversion. But for retrieving the difference, you had to give them refunds. That inversion problem has been largely addressed in the new generation GST, which has come into force. So I would like to inform Sri Ayodhya Rami Reddy that inversion has been addressed. 99%, there can be still 1 or 2 which we'll address as and when it comes about, sir. As particular mention was made by the honorable member on hospitality. We have actually reduced the rate of tax on hotel rooms below 7,500 rupees per night to 5%. Earlier it was 12%. Rooms which are at the rate of 7,500 or lesser were earlier taxed at 12%. Now they have all come down to 5%, sir. This will, I'm sure, make travel easier. Tourism will have an attractive point there, and they will have reason to encourage tourists to take care of the rooms which are at that cost. So with these words, sir, I request the House to consider to pass this bill because it will help the state of Manipur. Thank you very much.
The question is that the Manipur Goods and Service Tax Second Amendment Bill 2025 as passed by Lok Sabha be taken